Welcome to On the Ground CLCs and Outdoor Education. I just want to say I'm excited to hear what's happening in the network. I know that there's plenty of people who still have things to share, including Jennifer, who's in the room with us from Pierre Elliott Trudeau School. And I'm hoping next year you're going to step up, because I know tomorrow you're busy speaking about transitions again. We also have Emmy, who presented at the conference. She talked about the took. Was a very meaningful, wonderful session. And if you missed it, I do recommend going back, because we did have two principals in the room at the time, which is wonderful. So welcome to you all, and thank you for being here. And we're going to start this morning hearing from Jayne, who partnered with Bird Protection Quebec. Jayne, go ahead, please.
Good morning, everybody. So this is a project we did with the municipality, and we received a grant from Bird Protection Quebec. And we decided to produce bird posters for our walking trail in the municipality. So we have a group of retired gentlemen who are looking for projects to do. They built some bird houses. The French school and the English school painted them. We got the permission to install them along the path, and then we just took it from there. So you can change, Danielle. So we had the grant and took our nature club to a bird observation area, and we had enough money to bring 2 classes with us. So that was a really good experience for everyone. As you can see, the children were quite excited to have the birds come and eat out of their hands. So each of the children were assigned a specific bird to study, a bird from our area. So each child drew the bird, found out general information about size, what they ate, where they live, what they do with their nests. And we put together information posters. You can change, Danielle. And one of our parents designed this for us with the general bilingual information that each child had found on each of the birds. And the municipality gave us the permission to install them. So we had a senior citizen of the community help us. He cut the wood to install the panels. The children helped install. You can change, Danielle. The children helped install these panels along the municipal path. And so now our principal found the QR codes for the sound, the bird call. We installed those on the posters as well. So these are our posters that are along the path. We have 8, and the Nature Club is in charge of filling the feeders along this path as well. So it was a collaboration between the group of retired gentlemen, the municipality, a parent volunteer, a grandmother who was a bird watcher who explained to the children, different information about them when we were on our walk, and Bird Protection Quebec. And this is our product, our final product, which we're quite proud of. So that's it for me.
Yeah, I love this. I love that the kids drew the birds.
Yes.
That's a nice way. I love that there's the sound with the QR codes, because so often bird watching is about bird listening. And I noticed they're in French.
They're bilingual.
Oh, they're bilingual. Okay.
Yes, they're bilingual.
Oh, that's great. And I'm just curious, now that they've been installed for a little while, how are they holding up in the weather?
They're doing it really well, actually. We had them done by a Vista print on a cardboard that was plastified, and they're holding up really, really well. Really well. We were actually looking at them yesterday when we went for our walk. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, no, I've become a bird fan definitely during the pandemic. That's a nice way to spend time. I'm just curious a little bit about your nature club. Like, what grades are those, and what's the idea there?
Nature Club meets once a month from grade 3 to grade 6. It's a volunteer who any child that wants to sign up can. And each month we choose a theme and work on that particular theme. So this was our bird watching. We have a butterfly garden in the back that we've installed. We also have our chicken coop in the yard that the kids take care of. And we have planters that we will be planting soon. So we just randomly choose subjects that they're interested in, and we just go with that.
I love that's how you get to spend your time, spending time in nature with kids. So I'm just curious how it worked with the municipality. Was that a lot of red tape Or
Nope. We have a really close relationship with the municipality because we've been here for 75 years as a school. So there's a lot of things that we share, a lot of things that we do together. They had their little group of gentlemen that were working on different woodworking projects, and it was one of those gentlemen that suggested these posters. So when I approached them, they were quite open to this project.
And who keeps the seeds in the bird feeders?
The Nature Club does. We do.
Oh, okay.
So I've used up the rest of my grant. We were purchasing a seed with the grant, and we would go on walks at lunchtime and put feed in the feeders.
That's what I was going to ask. So did you get the $4,000 grant from Bird Protection?
No, it wasn't 4,000. It was 1,200.
Okay. And so that was covered the printing, poster, and buying bird feeders and
the trip and the outing to the Marais du Nord.
Okay. So how far is this from the school then?
It was maybe 35-minute drive. It's not very far. And it's marshland and walking trails, and it's a perfect place to bird watch. And
so how did transportation work? Because I know that's always a question.
Busing. I rented a bus.
Okay. So that was like a few trips to this place?
One trip. It was one trip this past fall.
Okay. Yeah, I know. If I was really prepared, I was going to bring some bird sounds and test everyone if they could recognize them. You'd probably know them all, Jayne, though. So.
Oh, maybe not all of them, no.
Yeah.
But I know, I'm sorry, I was just going to say that the community is very happy with these posters. I've heard a lot of feedback from different people that we see regularly on the path, and they're quite happy that we did this project, and we've actually had suggestions to do more, maybe insects, maybe squirrels, because the squirrels love to eat the feed as well. So it's really nice, heartwarming to hear from the community how much they appreciate the children's work.
I hope the kids know that.
Oh yes, they're told for sure. And sometimes they're with us when people, they tell them directly, so.
Anne Kelly, you have a question?
Yeah, could you just tell me again, please, the source of funding?
Bird Protection Quebec.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, they're a wonderful group. We'll loop back to that another time. So let's keep going. Let's move on to Helen. Helen, let's hear about your building of the mud kitchen at your school and the play area for the pre-K, I guess, or K.
The mud kitchen is for our primary kids. We started a few years ago with gardening, planter boxes, and every year we kind of add to it. And then last year we decided to try and go for a mud kitchen and an outdoor education center type. So we partnered with for some of the planters in the greenhouse, we partnered with an organized North Nutrition Education Initiative, which they give a grant to certain communities every year. And a part of their mandate is gardening and growing your own food and things. So they were willing to give us some money to cover the cost of building a greenhouse, buying seeds, mud, that sort of thing. You can't see that in this greenhouse in this picture, but it's there. They also bought the water, I don't know what it's called, the water collection thing there in the side of the picture. The Nutrition North paid for that. Our school board gave us some money. We had some measure money. We've had money from Tree Canada. We've had CS Community Service Learning grants a long time ago with the 50+ club, and they helped, and that helped us with our planting. It's been an ongoing long process to get to this point, but we add to it every year. And this year we would like to add an insect hotel. Lynne sent me a picture last few months ago about the one that she has, and so we'd like to try that. But we have a lot of measure money, so it's not necessarily always that we have to apply for grants. We can tap into those measures because we're sometimes our location is a good thing money-wise. And our municipality has helped us out, our 50+ club, our governing board, our school board. We've did VISI fundraising, whatever works basically.
Debbie, you have a question?
Yeah, Helen, could you just clarify maybe what a mud kitchen is? It's a new expression for me, so I'm just curious. I could Google it, but you can probably tell me better.
Well, it's basically a mud kitchen. You can play, it's for mud. So
Okay, so just kids playing in the mud.
kids
creating
can play. I mean, obviously you don't want them playing in too much mud because it would get a bit messy, but yeah, the idea of it, and we don't have our yeah, make mud pies. Yes, exactly. We don't have our utensils and things out there in the picture, but last year, a community member that was really involved in the school, she passed away, and her family donated pots, pans, dishes, things that would be good for outside. We don't have them in place yet because, well, the weather. But it's basically so that the kids can play in mud, play with leaves, make potions. Our kids are really into magic potions, which are really bizarre things, but they put these things together and then they name it and they describe what the potion can do and stuff like that. So it's all about the nature and things, getting back to nature, even though we live in, severely more isolated than what most of you guys do. Still, our kids are tech savvy little ones. And so sometimes this is a different thing to do. It's also a place where, like last summer, at the beginning of the year, this year, we did eco printing, where you pick leaves and things and you pack it between paper and then you boil your paper and it leaves it dyes your paper with the impressions from the leaves. So we did that in our kitchen as well last year, not the boiling part, obviously, but so it's been a fun place, and they've did volcanoes and stuff like that. So
yeah, I love that. It's true. It feels like it's just a different pace. Like when we're trying to get our kids off tech and into nature, it's just like to teach them that the time moves differently in those moments.
And they really enjoy it, but I don't think it's something that they would necessarily do on their, you have grade 5 student who they're thinking they're really cool and they don't want to be seen playing in the mud. But if you do it through school, it's more, it's not such a bad thing to do.
Yeah, they really do need those spaces.
Yeah, our grade 6 too. They play in the mud kitchen too, but again, it's not something that they would do on their own, I don't think.
Yeah, I remember that being a very awkward age, being told that I wasn't really a kid anymore when I was like 12. I couldn't like run around like a 5-year-old, and I was pretty disappointed. Yeah,
and they like the outdoor lodge area. I mean, we put pillows and things in there, and they can read in there, and they do experiments, and then they use it in the winter time. And we've added 2 igloos that you pack snow around out front too. So that's something else in the winter time. Kick slids and snowshoes and tubes for sliding and all that stuff.
Wow. Who wants to go visit where Helen is? I sign me up.
Sure. Come on down.
Absolutely. Great. Thank you, Helen. That was wonderful. We're going to move to David. David, welcome.
Hello.
So David, just so you know, I found a bunch of pictures that I didn't even show you yet because there's so many of this artist at work. This is just some of his other work beyond what he did with you, but can you remind me his name, please?
His name is Mark Walter. He's from France, but living in Quebec near Gatineau right now. And this is from a grant from Cultures in the Schools that we got from our local, from CQSB. And what we did is, oh yeah, this is a great picture. This is well, the top one is the elementary school and the bottom is the high school, because we're both elementary school and high school. The process of how this unfolded was that one, this is art. So first things first is I went to the art teacher and I said, okay, what do we want to do? She filtered through, well, we filtered together. Ultimately, it was her decision about which type of artist and what type of art that she wanted at our school. And then when we found Mark's profile through the Artist Inspire profiles, we realized this is who we want to work with. I just called him up, set up the meetings, and made sure everything's okay. We found a date when he could come for a whole week, and basically we'd get the whole school involved from kindergarten all the way to secondary 5 to create an outdoor land art. So these pictures right here, these are the very first times that we started with this creation. These branches he actually brought himself from his home because he wanted specific thick branches. If I'm not mistaken, I believe they're cedar branches, because it starts off with creating a strong base. So we had like the older kids involved first to create that stronger base, and then we got the younger kids coming in later on, contributing in different ways, maybe just by filling in the branches with other branches. All these now, see, like this one right here, this is the kindergarten. So you notice like when the kindergarten got involved, the creature was already pretty much very solid, and they were just either tying ropes together or doing things that to the best of their capabilities, given their age and their height, because as you can see, they're on the blocks right there. These branches has all been collected by the artists who went around our local community and getting these branches. So what's interesting about this is the creation was made based on the resources available to him around our school. This was all done on 5 days. He came from Monday all the way to Friday, and the whole reason why we wanted this is we wanted, first of all, our whole backyard got completely revamped with an outdoor education, outdoor classroom. If you see in the background there, there's a community gardens right there. So this is why we wanted to build on this momentum of the outdoor education model. We also, once we realized how big this project was going, see, that's the secondary 5s right there on the right, and that's secondary 2s on the left. And you can notice that that's teachers who are also involved in this as well. So it's really a school-wide initiative. Yeah, so once we had this too, we want to keep the momentum going. So we got the local newspapers involved. They did a big paper on this. I was hoping it'd be front page, but it was page 3. But it's okay. And then after that, we got to keep the school spirit. We created like some sort of, let's say, a contest, and like, well, what do we name this creation? So we have a bunch of students coming in and giving ideas on what we'd like to name this creation. That picture right there, that's the final project. That's the final, what it looked like. What's interesting about this is that we did not expect that this is what it was going to look like when it started. We didn't have in mind, you know what, we're going to create a dragon or whatever this may be. We just started building it and then just going with the flow with each grade involved too. And then this was the final project, but this is not what we had in mind too. And we wanted to keep it abstract, because if we were going too specific, then we were trying really hard to create something that we may or may not achieve. So we just went really abstract. And what's interesting of the beauty of the creativity and the imagination of the kids, some see a dragon, some see a bee, right? So it really depends on the individual. So and then actually just brainstorming with Danielle yesterday, we came up with a really good idea that, just to keep this school spirit involved, we could always be very thematic, in our academic year. So right now graduation is coming up, so we could put like a little graduation hat on the creature, or during Halloween we could dress them up, or during Christmas we could put like a big Santa hat on it, so just to make the kids still feel like it's part of the school spirit. So this is essentially what we did, and it was a great, excellent first project. And it just, what's wonderful about it is, as I mentioned before, it was all fully paid for by the Culture in the Schools grants that we got from our school board. His name is Mark Walter, Walter. His profile is in Artist Inspire, and he's such a gentleman. And like you could tell he's bending right now, but he's actually 6'8". So that was such a good talking piece to a lot of students, especially the younger ones, because like, wow, you're so tall. And it was a great way for him to see our community and to enjoy our community, and he had a great experience.
Did he have to come from away and like you had to find a place for him to stay, or?
Yeah. So he's he's like near Gatineau, so it was like a 5-hour drive for him. He does have money allocated for hébergement, like for him to stay. I just reached out to the local community and see who wanted to host him, and then it was mutually beneficial because he got to stay at a local's house too, and the local got to make a little bit of money, I guess, too, you know, at the same time. So I prefer that than you know, having him stay at a hotel where it's a little bit cold, right? You know what I mean? It's just, and obviously the hotel, like, I mean, I think he had like $80 a day. Like, you can't find a hotel for $80. So yeah. He stayed for 5 days.
So this was just like a month ago?
This was April 24th to April 29th. And what, like the paper came out from the Courrier Frontenac the following week. So I really like, and I always encourage everybody, like if ever we do something big, like the mud kitchen or even the bird protection, these are wonderful initiatives, and always try to reach out to the local newspapers too, because they really help create awareness.
Thank you, David. Can you just remind me the name that you're kind of hoping they'll pick, that one of the kids
Okay, so there's a grade 4 student that came up with a great name called Bobby Flames, which I thought was pretty cool. The name of our street that our school's on is called Mooney. So we're thinking it could be like something like Mooney the Marvelous. And then what we could do is we could get the younger elementary school kids write like stories or fictitious stories about Mooney the Marvelous. So you could really dovetail it well with the ELA curriculum.
Oh, I'd love to see that. If that happens, do let us know. Thank you, David.
My pleasure.
We're going to go to Carmen. Carmen, thanks for taking the time to meet us today. I know you have to leave after you speak.
Yeah, I only have a few minutes, but I will talk very fast. So I have 2 elementary schools, Belance Elementary School and Gaspé Elementary School, which both have our preschool programs that are outdoor-based learning programs. Our kids are outside for anywhere between 3 to 4 hours a day. They do their snacks outside, they take community walks. We have a school garden where they grow food. We also actually just put in bird feeders this year, where we also got our money from bird protection. We got a grant from Bird Protection Quebec also this year. And they're really looking forward to starting to explore and observe the different birds that will be coming to visit us this year. So that's really cool. Last year, Gaspé Elementary School built an outdoor classroom, which is really cool. And Belance even has a school bunny. So that's really cool. However, one of the things that I feel we don't really talk about or get spoken about enough when it comes to conversations around outdoor learning, and what comes with that is getting parents on board, especially when you're in remote locations like mine that has really harsh, long winters. And that can kind of be a little bit challenging. Sorry, I was just reading this, the chat. So one of the things that we like to do, and that we did, actually that slide works really well, is that we bought rain suits for all of our students that helped to keep them dry. We also bought adventure backpacks, which are the little green ones that they pack in the mornings when they leave for the day. They pack their snacks, they pack magnifying glasses, they pack if they do like a nature search and find for the day or whatever else they want. They pack that all in their little green backpack. They belong to the school, so they are left at the school all day and all year. So, but at the beginning of the year, each child is given one. And so that way we're sure every kid has what they need for the year, and that way they're nice and dry and they wear them. And they're also, it helps them kind of like be easy to identify when they go out on their community walks and stuff like that. So that's nice. Another thing that really kind of helps get parents on board is we have workshops that we do all year long, once a month with our parents, which is Parent Volet. We do this in partnership with our local NPI, where we come up with these workshops really based around what the students are doing with their teachers or local things that they'll be doing outside in nature. And our local NPI comes and helps us really build these workshops that we give to the parents and deliver that information. And it really helps parents understand what their kids are going to be doing throughout the day and the benefits of our outdoor programs. It also gives them a forum to really be able to ask their questions in a more relaxed setting and less of a formal parent-teacher setting where it can be a little bit colder and you're kind of wanting to discuss just more specific things. It's a little bit more relaxed, which is kind of nice. And they're also in with all the other parents. So it kind of lets them see like, hey, what my kid is doing is the same thing as other kids. So it's a little bit nicer. Just yesterday, I was at Gaspé Elementary doing an art workshop for their school, and I was visiting the pre-Ks, and they told me all about like the different seeds they had started and which ones were bigger than the others and which ones weren't big enough that they couldn't plant out in their garden, and which they have started hatching eggs, chicks, but they hadn't hatched yet. That's our community garden, which we haven't planted yet because it's still too cold in Gaspé. Our eggs haven't hatched yet. And we're also worried that our eggs won't hatch. So we're going to have to deal with like life cycle soon, but they're impatiently waiting for that. And we've had a garden day to clean up our garden. But these are all the types of hands-on learning activities that our kids wouldn't necessarily get to experience if we didn't have this outdoor learning program. So it makes it really easy for me to sell to parents this all-day kind of outdoor learning. And our parents are great, so they get on board quite easily. These are their snowmans. These are some of the learning. And what happens is when our pre-Ks move up to kindergarten, we bring them back in the fall and we cultivate all of our things. So it does make it really easy, but it does take a minute to understand why we're having their kids outside for 3 to 4 hours at a time. So yeah, that's my very rushed presentation because I have to go. I have an artist waiting for me, but thank you very much.
Thank you, Carmen.
Sorry, it was so rushed.
No, it's all good. I heard one of the best ways is to get parents to come and experience it. And
well,
that's
exactly. And that's one of the great things about having our parents in once a month is they really do get to live the experience and see what their kids are doing and see why we're doing what we do and why we believe what we're doing is the right thing for their kids. And they get to see all the benefits that come with what they're doing and how much they really do learn by doing it just hands-on. Like our kids were, for example, they were telling me like, well, their cucumber seeds were getting bigger because they grow bigger than the carrot seeds, and the carrot seeds took longer because they'll only be able to pull them in September. But their cucumber seeds, it's normal that it was bigger, Miss Carmen, because they'll grow soon. So like just that hands-on learning that, you know, they wouldn't get otherwise. And just, you know, the community walk, for example, we have people in the community that look forward to seeing our kids and wave to them, and that our kids look forward to seeing. It's just such a special thing that they get to experience that is just, I feel is just so wonderful for them.
Well, soon you'll have all the grades wanting to be outside all the time.
They do actually. And with what happens with our outdoor classroom is like, now that it's warming up and we actually can use it because we live in Gaspé and there's so much snow that in the winter, it's just a hill. Our other teachers do take them outside for reading, for gym. Like our kids are outside a lot, not as much as our pre-Ks, but they are outside a lot. And they do get to just do so much. We are fortunate that we live where we live, and outside is literally just a postcard. Our kids aren't aware of that, but it is. So they do get outside so much, and they get to experience a really great childhood, and they are outside just lying. It's not uncommon to see them lying outside reading for like they're reading and stuff. So it's really cool. And I live in front of my schools, and I have a big dragon in the fall. So they actually get to go and they'll go visit my dragon on their community walk and stuff like that. So it's awesome. We have a really cool program.
All right. We're going to have a field trip where we all visit each other. That's
Yeah.
Gonna figure that one out. Thanks for coming, Carmen.
Thank you.
See you later. All right. I know, Debbie, it may not be possible, but we can dream. So Lynn, I did have some pictures that Anne Kelly had from a presentation. So you're gonna see them. It starts off with the insect hotel. I call it a bug hotel. My dog's barking. I have to turn my mic off.
Hear me? Yes, we can hear you, Lynn.
Okay. These pictures here are of our insect hotel, which started basically, we just put out a call to the community and us. I brought a bunch of stuff from home, and it was started with the grade 1-2. And it's amazing the things that were donated by the community and their participation. And that escalated from there. Basically, we've got from pre-K to Sec 5, it started last year. They were involved in not just the insect hotel. We built furniture, buddy benches, a learning platform. We've got bird houses, or bird feeders, I should say. It's just, and it keeps on growing. We have a parent who's a biologist. She's actually a biology professor out of York University in Toronto. And she does a bilingual program. So her students actually do come here because they live here, and she flies back and forth. But she's also, we'll be working with Bird Protection Quebec next year along with her. So that's in the plans also. So there'll be more feeders, more bird houses. And it's something we can adapt to the curriculum. We have trails behind the school, which the community is very, how can I put it? The homeowners have been very good over the years. In the winter, we usually go in and clean it up, mark the trails with signs, and it's cross-country skiing or snowshoeing. In the spring and summer, it's hiking, just walking. But as you can see here, like even though we have a new school now, we still, our sports program is still very much outside. So there's, as I said, the skiing, the snowshoeing, the beach. We also have a good partnership with another biologist who works out of Ottawa U, who's in charge of the Lighthouse Committee. So he's a marine biologist, and he is also, we're working on programs with him because for us, the beach is across the road. So that is part of our outdoor learning. It's a whole new world, but it's wonderful. The mosaics was also part of another grant through one of our major partners, Heritage, Lower St. Lawrence. We have mosaic tiles, we have furniture. It's all student made and community members. It's been, it's us again, once it's part of our outdoor decor, but also classes are out there. Where we have the mosaic stools, the bases are concrete and they're in a circle. So of course, that's a learning area. We even have the swinging wooden chairs, things like that, but it's all designed. So it's a learning, they're formed into it's a learning environment as well as comfort and casual. So I'd love to get to do some of the ideas I've heard today are wonderful, but it's just to find the funding. And so we don't have a lot of the space, land space that some of the other schools have, but I think we're going to try and get creative on that one because there's so many wonderful ideas out there that we'd love to try.
Thanks, Lynn. Yeah, it's good to hear everything that's going on there because I know Matisse Beach has been working hard to get outside, and it's good to hear everything that is going on. And so with that, I think we're going to go to Anne, who's going to tell us.
Danielle, can I ask Lynn a question? Is that sea glass in those mosaics, Lynn?
Yes, there is sea glass. There's all sorts of things.
Wonderful.
Yeah, no, they're beautiful. We actually have a huge mural. I don't know if I can actually share that with Daniel, the picture, but it was done by the community and students in preparation for the new school being built. And it's massive. It occupies a large wall in the cafeteria. And it's basically the lighthouse, and each student and community member designed a tile that was part of it, their vision of their life here in, in Matisse or, in the adjoining communities.
Well, that'd be great, Lynn. Do send that along. We'll share that out most definitely.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening.
So Anne, just in the interest of time, I'm going to just move along. I think we can manage to fit Anne and Chantal in still before we run out of time. So Anne, welcome.
Thank you, and hi, everybody. This is a long PowerPoint, but I'm just going to go through it really quickly. Back in 2021, the school board applied for a professional development and innovative grant through the LCEEQ, and we were awarded it. There were 3 schools who voiced interest: New Carlisle High School, New Richmond High School, and Matisse Beach, in learning more about taking learning outside. So over the course of this last school year, they met 4 times with a facilitator from Learning for a Sustainable Future, which is an organization out of Ontario, whose aim is to bring outdoor learning to schools across Canada, and really promoting the 17 Sustainable Development Goals from the UN. So you can move on. So those are just pictures of the schools that were involved, and the CDA from New Richmond, Kim, there was involved. We don't have Lynn with Matisse Beach, but she was involved, and then Tammy Chatterton from New Carlisle. And it just seemed a natural extension to include the CDAs in this project, because community is a big component of taking learning outside. and to so that this project can become a program in the schools, we just felt it was integral to have the CDAs part of the process. So as I said, Learning for a Sustainable Future really promotes the 17 SDGs, and the schools, the 3 schools slowly started to implement these 17 goals, or some of the goals into their learning with the students as the year went by. Like yeah, so I'll let you continue. And you can continue again. So the schools met, like I said, 4 times throughout the year, once in the fall, once in the winter, once in the early spring, and once in the late spring. And each time the facilitator from LSF introduced teaching outside in that particular season, as well as other important components of learning outside, such as inquiry-based learning, involving the community, math and the arts outside. Yeah, so this is a picture of New Carlisle. You can continue. And these are students here are walking on trails near the school that in the future we're hoping to involve the students in maintaining these trails. Similar pictures. So these are all the fall taking learning outside activities from New Carlisle. You can continue. So here, this is where Tammy, our CDA from New Carlisle, was very important in engaging an orienteering facilitator to teach these skills to secondary students. And he was from Beta Chaleur Active en Santé. So we've actually developed a relationship with this organization and doing other outdoor activities with our students as well. So Tammy, our CDA, was very centered in getting that happening for us. Okay, so then New Carlisle went into their snow activity, so learning all about snowflakes outside, and this is the elementary students. Continue, more snowflake pictures. And snowshoeing in gym class, again, using those nearby trails. And once again, our CDA was involved one of our local NPIs, CASA, in teaching outdoor survival skills with a facilitator from CASA. Okay, so now we're just going to see some pictures from New Richmond. So this was their fall activity. And we have a large First Nations community of students near New Richmond. So our CDA, along with the teachers, invited a member of the Geskapegeg community to take our students on a medicine walk and talk about First Nations Mi'kmaq culture. And we have a, it's called the Biopark. It's like, it's a facility that homes our local habitat and animals in our local habitat. So again, the CDA, along with the teachers, organized a winter visit to the Biopark so the students could see up close some of our animals in our ecosystem in this one location. And the students really, and this is a grade 7-8 modified class, as was the medicine walk. And this kind of hands-on learning really worked with this group of students. So New Richmond really focused on this grade 7-8 modified for their outdoor learning. And some more pictures of the biopark and the seals. Let's continue. You're going to see soon where they started. That's more. Maybe you don't see it here. Okay, and this is just another act. This is actually late winter, early spring, as Carmen said here on the Gaspé. We still have a lot of snow, where they took the same group of 7-8 modified on a snowshoe outing in a local heritage site. You can continue.
I think I see Kim there.
Yep, that's probably Kim involved. Yeah.
So outcomes being well-being and engagement, of course, the outdoor bonus of everything. And this is the last slide. Okay. And one way that a couple of the CDAs are including LSF, Learning for a Sustainable Future, as a partner in their action plans for next year, because LSF offers a program called Sustainable Future Schools, where for it's a free of charge program where a facilitator from LSF will meet with school staff or even a few teachers from the school and really coach them in incorporating the SDGs, the 17 sustainable goals in their school, and coach them in taking learning outside. So a couple of our schools will be integrating that into their action plans for next year. Well, that's good to know. It's free. It used not to be. So I think they got extra funding. They got funding. Yeah, they got funding. And they really will meet schools where they're at. Even if a school wants to start off with just like putting the 17 gold posters up in their classroom and having a facilitator just come in and introduce herself in the program at a staff meeting, it can start as basic as that. Yeah. They're a great organization. They've done some presentations. I've attended them. They're very, very well informed, been in this mindset for like 30 years probably or something. So they're the people. They are just kind of new to the Quebec community. So they're trying to reach us from their Ontario headquarters, but they're definitely knowledgeable. Thank you. Thank you. So Chantal, how are you? We do have time for you, and I appreciate you being here. I've been looking forward to this conversation for a long time to hear about your school. I think I recently saw something, it was a CBC radio interview with your principal, and it was talking about how you've been trying to, you started this maybe 10 years ago to have kids outside more.
Well, we've started, this whole thing was started in 2018, actually, with Monique Vacval, one of our teachers, and Mr. Coulombe, who had this dream of having an outdoor classroom in 2018. It's been a long process, and I'm sad to say, but we're very anyway, it hasn't started yet, but I have to say that this whole thing started during COVID, right? So it's been a very, it's a learning in a sense, right? I'm here today to give you some help, some little tips is what really, because this whole thing started in 2018, like I said, and at Dagenais Academy, we've always been very outdoorsy. We live in the Laurentians. Our schoolyard is huge. We have kids that have been outside. I mean, it's huge. I don't know if you get and all our trees are on the outskirts of it's not in, we have music regularly outside. The kids dance, we play. We have, I think this was our annual Terry Fox, where it starts, relay. Anyway, it's huge. We're always outside. We've had gardens, we have rooftop garden. Also, it's always been outside. And in 2020, we had a survey, a CLC survey at the beginning of the year that I sent out to parents and teachers. And the teacher survey, because this was always focused on elementary, and because we have elementary and high school. So, and in that survey, we found out that the high school teachers were also very interested in going outside. So with the teachers I already had on board, I had a high school teacher join us, and we had this dream to really get this done, have a classroom outside, a physical classroom. I don't know if you can put up our, oh, yep, there, that's our, that will be eventually, with hope. We have the sad thing is we have all the money for this, but because of COVID and the change in prices and how right now it's hard to even get an architect to build, because this is very basic, simple sonotubes, but it's hard right now just to even get an architect to make plans for us. So the thing here was that I wanted to share a little bit of my knowledge in the sense that we have to have buy-in right from as we all know, from our teachers, our principal, our community, our parents. That's a given. We're all community-based. We know that we have to do this, right? It's part of who we are. But I wanted to share, like, when we do all these, there's always these steps and procedures, and sometimes you connect with somebody from the school board, they say, oh, you have to do like right now, you have to do your budget. We have, like, I put up the project proposal form, right? So we have the project proposal form that we had to do for the school board. Exactly. So with this, we have to have the governing board's approvals. So we have to have that done. We have to then, when we do our budgets and we send our paperwork, I think it's one of the key things that we tend to forget when we do grants is we don't necessarily, like, now we're asking money at the MEAS level, but it's important to have other local partners too. I think it's important to show the MEAS that as CLCs, we work with the community. So working with community, we're not just asking a big bulk of money from the ministry without buy-in from our community. So I think that's an important thing. Yes, that if you go lower, a little lower down. Yeah. You see where we have Fondation Tremblant, Monique Fitzbach, and we had school board funding also to show them that it's a community. It's not just a school asking for money. It's a whole community. We wanted this. That's the hint, and one of my hints. But also, like, sadly, we were thrown into this during COVID, and it has been an uphill battle, but we're persistent, and we had hoped to get this off the ground this coming summer season, but again we're having problems getting. I even asked the community to see if we have in our family, in our immediate family, any architects or technicians that can do these plans, because the school board was saying, oh, no, we don't need plans right now. We don't need plans right now. And all of a sudden now they want plans, which, yes, we could have done them a long time ago. But, when you're trying to follow the steps that the ministry and the school board is giving you, well, sometimes I think deviating right now with hindsight, I would have got these plans done as soon as I had gotten my money from the MEAS, and not take into consideration the school board saying, no, we have to wait. But, I think right now, what I have to say is just like, whatever, like, as individuals that work in the community, we know, like, anyway, hindsight, as soon as you get the money, don't wait for those big boxes like the school boards to well, now you should do this, now you should go on and just go off the beaten track and get those plans done. Because right now, with what's happening with COVID and all the backlash, well, luckily there's going to be a difference in price, because this was if you notice the date, this was done in February of 2001. So the prices have drastically changed in constructions and in materials since then. But that hasn't been an issue because again, we have a great link with the municipality, and they've offered us, you know, anything that they can do. And they even offer us extra money to, you know, I think we have a $10,000 that they're willing to put in, apart from helping us with landscaping and digging and everything with the municipal equipment. But it's not built yet, but trust me, it's gonna go up if if I have to dig the base myself. No, kidding. But it's just a lot of little obstacles, but it's gonna happen. It's happening. You know, come hell or high water, this will be put up because we do so much outside. I mean, it's like, and anyway, but yep. And sadly, my outdoor garden, which was on a rooftop, well, it was scheduled, the roof was scheduled to be redone the last week or the week before. Anyway, well, we had that huge storm. Well, that just delayed us 2 months. So no rooftop garden this year because they were supposed to redo the garden, redo the roof where our roof garden was. But because of the storm and all the issues with that here in the Laurentians, well, all the plans we've had for our rooftop garden this fall, this spring, it's not happening because of all the storms and everything. But
Wow,
it's okay,
so,
we're on back burner.
there's something
But you
ironic.
never give up. I think my whole thing is never give up. I know this is a big project. It's $86,000, and now it's up to 95 with all the new the add-ons of the pricing. But the money's there right now. It's just paperwork. That's all we do. Some of us, a lot of times it's paperwork, right? So it's just a matter of ticking all those boxes that we have to tick. And it's a slow process right now, but I think because of the COVID issue, I think that was our big factor for making everything so slow. But
I just have to say there's something ironic about not being able to put up a garden because of climate change. The weather won't let you, like nature's getting in the way of your nature.
yeah, we even have a greenhouse to go on top this year, but we can't put anything because the plan was reinforcing the roof and having the barriers so that the kids don't fall. We can actually bring kids out now, but that has to be put on hold as our lovely structure has. But we're gonna have such a party. I'm gonna invite everybody. All of you are invited at my opening of this structure.
It will be a
Come
day to
on, come
celebrate.
on.
It will be a day to celebrate.
Yeah.
Well, this has been a great session. It's very interesting to see the different approaches. Like sometimes, you know, getting caught up in having to build things, which is really complicated, or just trying to get kids going. The Learning for a Sustainable Future seems like a way that's kind of a low-fi buy-in that you don't have to get too caught up in the bureaucracy of it. This sounds, I've been hearing this story for a couple of years now, Chantal, so I'm equally invested in seeing this come to completion. So I look forward to that, and I will make a trip to your area because that is within reach, unlike most of the other places that are too far from me. Thank you so much for everyone for being here. We're over time a little bit. Did anyone want to finish up with a question, or we're good for the day?